We're in Pinehurst and second green and number 2 course right across the street. I mean, this is 5 miles from where I grew up, but it seemed like a lot further away. Driving up to the Pinehurst Resort, I mean, this was a big deal. You know, as a kid, we played high school golf here on the number 1 course mostly, and number 4, number 5. Got to play number 2 a couple times, and it was a great place to grow up as a kid golfer. Driving into the village area, and for about 6 months in 1981, 82, lived right up in that apartment above the corner building there. Golf World started out right here in the village back in the late 40s. Golf World magazine, where I spent so much of my career.
Growing up in the cradle of golf, you might say Bill Field's destiny was all but determined. He got his first set of clubs from his father William, and it wasn't long before it captured a young boy's imagination. At age 14, Bill had a serendipitous meeting at a neighborhood golf clinic, where the instructor also happened to be a writer for locally based Golf World magazine. As he listened to stories of a career writing about sporting events, he became enamored at the possibilities. A passionate reader and already writing for his 9th grade school paper, Bill knew exactly what he wanted to do. 2 of life's early passions aligned. Majoring in journalism at the University of North Carolina, he became sports editor of the Daily Tar Heel. Upon graduation, Bill wrote for newspapers in Athens, Georgia, and Asheville, North Carolina, before returning full circle to Southern Pines and a coveted position as a writer and photographer for Golf World magazine.
Bill Fields and I go back 40-something years, believe it or not, in my hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. We kind of went our separate ways, and then, lo and behold, we hooked back up at Golf World in 1993. You get a sense that he knows what he's talking about. And not every writer does that. You know, some guys, if you've been around, you have any experience, you can kind of read from the opening paragraph whether they really know their subject matter. You can bet your last dollar that Bill has researched it in and out, and you can trust him. That's what makes it unique. You can trust every word that he writes.
When you think about how much Bill wrote for the magazine, you know, just you don't find many people who are great writers and also great editors. So he was Golf World magazine more than any of us there. It was a great team, but he was Golf World.
His ability to get into another character, whoever the subject is that he's writing about, allows him to interpret the details that he learns about those subjects, whatever he's dealing with.
We were talking about the Masters one time, and he came to me and said, I want to do a story on Bert Yancey. And I said, Bert Yancey? Like, why? Bert Yancey never won the Masters. What is the... Well, Bill knew that Bert Yancey kind of had an obsession with winning the Masters. And, you know, he never won the Masters, and he went on to have some health troubles, and he died quite young. But it was this incredible story of this guy who, you know, went to extraordinary lengths to try to win a golf tournament. And it was not only my favorite story of Bill's, but maybe my favorite story that anybody ever wrote for Golf World when I was the editor there.
I always thought of Bill as in that Herb Wind, Bob Summers, Charlie Price tradition of people who had a deep and serious understanding of the game, and he brought it to whatever subject he covered. He liked difficult subjects like Bert Yancey or even Herb Wind as a subject, and he brought an intensity to both the writing and editing that he did. And you know, you spend 5 minutes with Bill and you feel this intensity, this passion for the game.
He's a workaholic, that's for sure. He's the first one out there when I get there in the morning, and he's always the last one to leave. He's in there grinding, putting together the sound bites at night. So I think that's important. That's part of our culture, that we do work our tails off out here, and he's already brought that with him.
Well, I met Bill when I was in college in North Carolina. Obviously, I had no experience in getting interviewed, and it was nice to have somebody friendly, trustworthy, somebody that always had a smile on their face and that you looked forward to talking to. I was enjoyed reading whatever he wrote about me because I felt like it was a friend writing about another friend.
There's a mannerism of the South, and there's a mannerism of golf in the South. And that's what Bill really embraces. There's a genteel nature to him. He doesn't get too worked up. I think he gets worked up at himself because he's got such a high standard.
I remember a piece he did on Amen Corner. And to follow that story, a lot of people knew that it was Herb Wind who named Amen Corner. But he went to Yale and found the original classwork that Herb did at Yale on jazz, and Mez Mesro, who he credited with coming up with the name Amen Corner that he used at Augusta. So there were avenues and alleys that nobody else went down that Bill had a feel for.
Bill not only witnessed history, he dutifully documented its most magical moments.
How's that look? Oh! Larry Mize, the 1987 Masters champion.
In the early days, if you were the lowest person on the masthead, being the staff photographer was part of your job. So I'm sitting next to Bob Birdie, and he's reading an issue of Golf World, and he's reading a Bill Fields story. And as only Birdie can, he turns and looks at me with his unlit cigar, and he goes, "I'm being outwritten by a photographer."
He's got such an amazing skill set, and you don't see this anymore. I mean, what you get with Bill is someone who takes some ridiculously good photography and knows the right touch to put the right historical context to a photo.
Through the years, Bill followed all the unique and compelling storylines, traveling around the country and writing articles for publications such as the New York Times, Golf Digest, and Golf Illustrated.
Those in seats stood. Those who were standing clapped. Crenshaw, in his 44th and final Masters tournament, was dressed in blue and white, the color of the partly cloudy sky that, as if scripted, wouldn't threaten until his competitive goodbye was almost over, more than 5 hours later. It gives one an insight of how he can put words together. Not only about myself and the way I feel about the Masters, but it's how he can reach down inside of me and bring that out. And there's not too many people can do that. That shows his talent.
Although he moved north to Connecticut, Bill's heart and soul have remained true to his Carolina roots. For nearly 40 years, he has been a voice for golf's past and present in an award-winning and illustrious career, a true modern-day golf historian.
They used to say that old golf writers went to Pinehurst to die. Well, he lived there, and he brought that great sense of the game to everything he did.
The game is such a part of him that he always would have been a golf writer. He was destined to be one. He was born to be one.
Who else other than Bill amongst the media hordes that we have working out here actually was there for the Grand Slam when Bobby Jones won it and is here now working still today. So it's great that he knew back then what was going on and he can bring that perspective to us today. Kidding, Bill.
You know, history is such a big part of golf, and I think that's one of the strongest things Bill delivered, was not letting us forget that.
Nobody cares more, knows more, has a reverence for the game, greater than Bill Fields.
Bill may be the preeminent storyteller in golf. If you send him out to get a story, he's going to bring it back. What you get is solid, clean copy and a story that you can count on. And that's why he's been around so long, and that's why he's deserving of this prestigious award.